Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about Battlegrounds Matchmaking, and obviously it has been very hotly debated topic basically since the launch of Battlegrounds, but ever so recently it seems to have escalated in degree, not in kind, because obviously Kabam for this season specifically allowed even lower ranked players to enter Battlegrounds, and this season due to increased rewards in solo and alliance events, well, we do have a lot more people participating in Battlegrounds, but also farming points at the end of victory track, and that effectively is stopping the higher ranked players going into the Gladiator circuit, and these mismatch situations are getting even worse, because I know that the people that farm victory track like to say we're giving away free wins, and that is true in some case, but in reality, if they wouldn't be farming, that free win wouldn't matter, because the skilled players would already be in the Gladiator circuit, and then the lower ranked players would be able to earn their wins normally rather than to rely on the mercy from these, point farmers and grabbing them on their cycles down. Anyways, this video isn't necessarily as much about as point farming, but more so about Battlegrounds matchmaking itself. So the way it currently functions, I believe up until Diamond 1, it does take in consideration your roster. So if you do have a small account, you are unlikely to match like a massive, huge top-end account in, let's say, Gold 2 or something like that. And Kabam is doing that in order to allow smaller accounts to get, significant portion of victory track rewards easier, thus also making the game mode more valuable and encouraging more people in there. And I understand that. And then we have past Diamond 1, the matchmaking where you basically can match anybody that's within your tier. And that is the type of matchmaking that exists in Gladiator Circuit. In Gladiator Circuit, obviously, it is, undeniably making the most sense, because everybody is competing for the same spots on the same leaderboard. And in the victory track, it is, however, causing significantly more conversation. And there is no one solution fits all problems type of situation, because regardless of what Kabam does and how they change this matchmaking, there will be people who will be affected positively, and there will be people who will be affected negatively. And that's just the way it is. However, I do think that the solution that Kabam is working on is going to largely take away majority of those issues, at the very least, as long as victory track is involved. The remaining issues will, however, still plague Gladiator Circuit, due to the fact that people will still be able to farm points in Gladiator Circuit just by, again, refusing to climb up, keep themselves at 0 to 100 points, as in, like, imagine if I, for instance, would still at week 2 or 3 be at 0 points, match everybody at the very bottom of Gladiator Circuit with Elder Marks, then use energy to drop down to the bottom and just rinse and repeat to make sure they win every match. It is extremely unlikely that I would lose a match, at the bottom of Gladiator Circuit. And that is bound to happen unless Kabam stops it. But at the very least, that would move away the problem, or the point farming, depends how you look on the issue. Maybe you don't think it's a problem, from the victory track to Gladiator Circuit. Right. However, the main point of this video is this post from March 17, and I think a large portion of community has completely kind of forgotten about this, where basically Kabam gave us a dev diary for the Battlegrounds. And one of the important takeaways, aside from all the bugs and cheating, we have victory track matchmaking and climbing. And here they are talking about season reset. Every season, all players start at the bottom of the victory track, leading to a gigantic mismatched pool of summoners and a long grind for those who play for the Gladiator Circuit every month. To address this, our plan is to seed players to start the season. We are working on a system that will allow us to seed players based on where they finished the season before. We need new tech that will allow summoners to earn the rewards for the victory track ranks below where they were seeded. Both of these tech solutions are being worked on right now. We don't currently have an ETA. It will not be for at least few seasons. Why am I bringing it up? now, because obviously this post was from March 17, well, it is a fact that this was like 3 seasons ago, right? And if I would be a betting man, then this is what we are going to get a bit more of insight into in the live stream that is happening in about 3 hours from now. And I would be willing to bet that they are all but finished with that seeding system. There is a very good convincing evidence that they have been working on this as well, because at the very beginning of this season, for those of you who jumped in immediately, myself included, you can check out the very first live stream that I did in current season. Everybody started in Gladiator Circuit with Gladiator Circuit nodes if you had been to the Gladiator Circuit. Now, whether it will function exactly the same way as it did at the beginning of this season, as in if you have made it to the Gladiator Circuit in previous season, you also start in the Gladiator Circuit in the next season, or it might be to a degree that if you finished in Celestial 5, then you start in Victory Track, let's say Diamond 2 or something like that. So we do not know exactly the details of whether you will simply have to get to the Gladiator Circuit once, or and then they're basically going to keep you in the Gladiator Circuit, or there's going to be some sort of slope downwards every single time. So if you were in the Gladiator Circuit before, maybe you start in Diamond 3 and you need to win 5 in order to get to Gladiator Circuit, or they might push you lower a bit. But the basic idea still remains that Kabam is working on a way to differentiate these accounts at the beginning of the season based on where you finished the previous season, so not everybody starts at the same position. And that will take away a lot of these matchmaking issues, because basically more capable players will immediately start significantly higher and get into the Gladiator Circuit, or be in the Gladiator Circuit flat out. And well, yeah, then a lot of these mismatches would not happen at the beginning of the season, and they would also significantly reduce later on, just in case, somebody's playing Battlegrounds at a bit more casual pace. Now, again, there is a question about the point farming and people who purposely refuse to move up, because regardless of what Kabam does, unless they deal with that specific thing, then again, the point farmers will either still get to do that at some point in the higher ranks of the victory track, or they can just effectively stay at the bottom of the Gladiator Circuit for first 3 or so weeks, just farm as many points as they want, and then move upwards. So that is definitely something that obviously also screws with the matchmaking in itself. Which I also is an additional reason why I think it is a crappy thing to do, and just abusing the system. But regardless how you feel about that, I did want to kind of put this in the forefront, because I do know that a lot of people have been extremely infuriated with the matchmaking, to a point where they are fresh Paragon accounts with like 4 rank 4s or something like that, and they match somebody with 10 rank 5s, and there's like this massive mismatch. And yeah, I think this season we have seen the biggest impact of that matchmaking, to a point where I have seen a lot of people who are streaming live just being visibly upset that they're matching accounts that have no chance against them, and therefore by extension they themselves are not enjoying the game, because they feel like they're bullying lower players. And obviously, on the other hand, the lower players who get matched against the biggest accounts, probably feel extremely disheartened about the Battlegrounds as a whole. So I do think that this seeding system is going to be a very big step towards solving a lot of these matchmaking issues. And I also do think that we can expect it possibly next season. And more than likely, we are going to hear details specifically about this in the live stream that we will see in a couple of hours. I will be hosting a watch party of it as well for the initial hour or so, and then I'm going to be rushing to cover it. But let me know what you guys think about matchmaking situation in general. and the topic of this video. If you are interested in reading the details of this entire post, then I will leave a link in the video description. Bye! Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about